Hello, good morning. This is Siva Devaki from MassMailer. Thank you so much for joining the webinar today. Today I'm going to talk about a very simple and important topic for most of the customers on how to set up a dynamic email signature in MassMailer using the email templates. I'm sure you must be aware of the feature that we have to use the merge fields, which means you can bring in the data, the content from the objects, whether it's a user object or any other object that you're working on, and then merge the data with the email templates. So the concept is something similar, and there are multiple options available, and I think I'm happy to show you three of those options on how to bring in the merge field data into the email template, especially when it comes to the signature data. Okay, and if you ever need to have just a custom look and feel, you can still achieve that using HTML snippet. Again, that is something that you will have to uh, generate, or you can use a tool to generate the HTML snippet, and you can just include that as part of your signature. So there are a couple of approaches that you can really use to get this dynamic email signature in your email templates. Okay, so let's take a look at it. And I'm sure most of you are aware of how to go to the template builder. And then you can create your own template. So I already have a template that is built and ready for the use. And I'm actually just going to go over this particular template that I built. So I have three different options that I'm going to demonstrate here. So let's just start with the merge fields. The simplest one that you are quite familiar with, I'm sure. So if you're going to bring in the data from the user object, then all you need to do is just select the user object and then select the respective merge field. But if you're getting it from the owner, such as contact owner or a lead owner, um, that's fine too. You just have to again select that respective object field and the owner field. Or if you actually wanted to get the data from any other lookup or any other field on the object, that's also possible. So basically, the concept is the same. All you're trying to do is, get the signature information from a merge field, whether it is coming from the user or coming from the owner object, of, or it can come from any other custom field or custom lookup that you may have on the contact or lead or any other object. So um, again, the concept is the same. So here I have the username and the company name. And how do you really get that? So you basically would go to this merge field syntax and you have an option to select the user. So I've selected the user, and if I select the field, and it'll give me options for the user, such as the first name, right? Or maybe the company name. Um, and you also have the address information such as street. If you are trying to bring the address information, don't just use the address field that you have. That may not show you the exact syntax that you need. So instead, if you have the street and the city, if you populate that information, then you can actually bring in that field. So for example, if you want to bring in city, just say done and then use a city. And you copy that and then put it into this signature, the user city. And same thing with the state or country, zip code and everything. So you basically bring in the merge field information from there. So if I want to use the Lightning, then I would just switch to Lightning and then copy paste that. We recommend using Lightning because certain fields are not supported in um, the classic, especially when you're trying to use a reference, a lookup field, like for example, going from the contact to account to the account owner, Salesforce would override the classic syntax. So we always recommend if you use the Lightning, and that's the way to go. So let's say you have this information, right? That's coming from the user. And obviously this is going to get populated when you're sending a test email. So this is one approach, right? And if you wanted to bring in the data from a contact object, that's also fine. Again, how do you really get that? So contact or lead, it doesn't matter, whichever the object is. So let's say contact, if you want to get it from the user, so the contact and the owner. So what would you do? Type in the contact owner, and then you can get the information from the contact owner, right? First name. So that's another option that you have. Yeah. So this is coming from, sorry, I'll have to copy this. Coming from the contact owner first name, correct? So that's another option that you have, contact.owner.first name. But if you have some other field, like let's say you have a representative as a lookup on the contact, sales representative. And if you want to bring in that information from the lookup, again, you just have to navigate to the respective the, uh, sales representative lookup, and then get the fields from there. So basically the concept is the same. You are allowed to navigate to the parent object. From the current object, get the merge field. So what I mean, so if you're in the contact, you can select field, and any lookup will be shown something like this, like account name, and then this greater than sign. So if you have any lookup, you'll be able to navigate to that. So for example, if you want to navigate to the account, you can. And if you want to get in the field from the account owner, that's also fine. You can get it from there, and then maybe the first name. So this is how you can actually, you can copy this and then paste it there. So that becomes your, the merge field. Right. And this could be like, you can just expand this, not only the name, you can get any other information that pertaining to that particular, the user record or the owner record or any other custom field or whatever that is gonna fill in the blanks for your signature. So this is just to demonstrate how to leverage the merge fields and then bring in the data into your signature. So now that you have to use the same thing, right? So I'm just going to go save this. We'll just go one sample approach at a time. So we'll just go through this merge field thing first, and then we'll move on to the next options as well. So I saved the template, and then I'm actually going to go do a test email. So we'll just only focus on the first one, that is using the merge fields. So I have filled in all the information. Now selected a contact, already have a test record. I'm just going to go do a send test. So this will actually send an email so that I can actually validate if this is working or not. So I'm just going to go search for this email subject. Okay. So let's just go search for this. Okay, I got this. And I'm gonna say look safe. Okay, so as you can see, I have the merge field, and that git is getting popular. This is a city, and this is coming from the contact owner, and this is coming from the contact account owner, right? The first name. So, and you can always mix and match any other data that you have, and then make this as your signature. And again, if you needed to get something, a different font, that's something that you can apply it in the text editing option and get that font and everything that is correct. Okay, so this is one way to use the merge fields, right? Now, there's another approach. It is, again, we're going to use the merge field there, but it is more like a complete user signature. So user has a signature field, and you can always use that signature field to really get your signature getting populated. provided you have filled that signature field information. Where you find the signature field, I'll show it to you. So it is under your profile. So even though it shows user, you being a user, you can actually go to your profile information from here, the settings. So I've opened the settings information here. So let me just refresh. So if we go to settings, and it shows my personal information. So this is the information that you see. You have all of the information such as address, work information, all of that. But if you go to the email and email settings, you'll see this email signature field. There are two options here. Either you can just manually type in the email as a text, or if you wanted to bring in like a HTML content. So I'll show you both. So this is HTML. So I'm just going to go for, for just for the sake of showing or demonstrating the text version. I'll just show you how this looks. So just say best regards, and then mailer, and I have other information, right? So let's just say this is my signature, and I would just go save this. And that is my signature field. That'll have that value. And again, how do you get this from the user? So you go to the user, and then select field. Select field, signature, email signature, say done, and then use the signature. You just copy this and then paste it there. So this is basically using the signature field, right, from the user, okay? And you can also do this from the contact owner signature. That's not a problem. Ultimately, that gets stored into the user object, right? So if you want to know how to do that, so just want to show you. So for example, contact, and then select field, contact owner, email signature. So this will give you the contact owner signature, but ultimately it's coming from the user only, right? But you need to make sure that the signature field is populated under the profile for that particular user, as I demonstrated, right? So you go to the profile, under email, my email settings, and the email signature, save it, okay? So let's say this is what we have, and I would just go store this, or save this template, have everything ready, and you make sure that you save to Salesforce, and then we are going to do a test. And test, and click on this, okay? So in a moment, we're going to receive the email, and we'll validate the signature there. The only thing is that it may not retain your formatting. So I would just go refresh this. Save. Okay. So you can see that it doesn't really have the right formatting because it's a rich text. So it's expecting you to really add the the break line and everything. So one approach is, if you really wanted a simple text, you could do that just by adding, like, I believe this should work, something like this. We are like a simple HTML, right? And then I hope this is the right syntax. All right. So something on those lines. So what it means is you're just adding the break line. So this is the HTML notation. But if you actually wanted a proper, nice looking HTML signature, then what I recommend is you would actually want to go find a tool that's actually going to give you the HTML. So I found like a tool that is called Signature. As you can see, si dot and gnatu.re. That is a website, and there's a free tool available. If you just say create signature, it actually asks you like all the information about yourself. For example, you type in your um, information there, and you can have say the email, for example, like something like this, and then you can have maybe the phone, let's say cell, and then you have your cell phone number. Okay, and you can have other information like the facts and everything. Could be even website and the address. All of that information you can uh, enter. And you can also have a disclaimer, footer text, and everything. And you can just say I'm done with my editing, and it'll give you the default signature there. And you can copy that HTML copy to clipboard and then paste it into your signature um, field right there. So if you go here, and then you can just copy paste that signature. And again, this is just like an example tool. There are many tools that are available on the internet. Feel free to Google free signature, free HTML signature tool or something, and you'll find options, and then try it out, whichever one that you think would work for you. You can just use that. This is just an example though. So I'm just going to go refresh this to make sure that the signature is saved. So the signature has been saved now. And now if I actually try doing this, like say send this email once again, because I did not really make any changes, I'm just going to go do a send test and send a test email from this. And I should receive an email shortly. And I'll go and validate how this is going to look. This is coming from the actual user signature field. Okay, let's just go refresh this. Okay. Okay, so this is using that signature field. As you can see, it has populated the HTML content right there, and it has a signature information. And again, it doesn't need to use the exact same the HTML that I just showing it to you. There are tons of tools available in the internet. You can Google free HTML signature tool, and you'll find many of the options and see whichever one that works best for you. Or you can build your own custom HTML signature if you have HTML designer. So the third option that I'm going to show it to you is where you're not really using the merge fields. You're just copy pasting that static HTML block. So how do you do that? So if you're familiar with using HTML block, I'll just show it to you. So you can add a row, right? And this row can contain a content item, but that needs to be HTML content item. So this is the HTML block. And now in this section where it says I'm a new HTML block, delete what you have and then copy paste the HTML that you just got from the signature line. So I was going to go delete this. So this becomes my HTML block signature. So if you look at this, it has the div, the original div, and I copy pasted the signature information right there, which is my custom HTML, but this is static. This is, again, I just want to demonstrate this to you. Even though it is static, you can still make it dynamic. And how do you do that? In this, you'll have to find out wherever you have the, like this particular information. This could be your merge field. So for example, Sivadvaki, right? This is static, but you can always turn this dynamic by adding your merge field data, right? So if I did this and then user dot name, that'll give me the information that I needed, which is the a dynamic information. And similarly, you can find the other options, the email and the cell phone and everything, and make it dynamic as well. So this is how you can do. I'm assuming that this should work. Let's give it a try. Save this, and then save to Salesforce. And test. Okay, so just gonna go refresh this. Okay, so as you can see, it did populate that information, the HTML. In the HTML block, I have my name that is coming from the user field, the username field. And similarly, you can bring in the title and other information also dynamically from the user object. So as you can see, this is the username and I have the title that is static. So that's how you can like build your own HTML block and then copy paste the merge field, removing that static text and then just add that merge field. So that becomes dynamic, and then it is something which is going to follow your branding. If you have HTML designer or if you have an existing HTML signature that you've been using, you can just copy paste that snippet and just make sure that you're actually going to replace the static text with a merge field so that signature becomes dynamic in nature. It's going to bring in the respective data from the user object or from the owner object or from any other object information that is related to your target object, such as contact could be a target object. If you have fields on the contact or maybe a lookup field that you want to bring in as your signature, that's fine. You can do that. Okay, so I think that kind of outlines everything. I know I did not cover the one aspect of bringing in the profile picture into the signature. I thought maybe I would actually try doing it in a different webinar topic where I can cover overall the image. How do you bring in the image, and also how do you bring in the image to the signature? I'll try to cover that in a different webinar. Okay. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me right now. You can unmute yourself and then ask me any question or put it in the chat window, either ways. Okay. Seems like no one has any questions. Once again, this is a weekly webinar, and I try to schedule it every week as much as possible. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us anytime. And the webinar is scheduled on Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific. And here is my contact information if you need to contact me directly, or you can just contact us on our website as well. Once again, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate your help. Seems like there is, yeah, sure. You're going to get a copy of this recording because every webinar that we're going to conduct, we always include the webinar topics. And also, if you're interested, you can always go to our YouTube channel. So the YouTube channel is published on our website. So let me just go to this. This is the channel, MassMailer channel. And there are a lot of videos. Every weekly webinar topics are published there. And you could always find our YouTube channel by going to our website, massmailer.io. And then bottom of the page, you will see the social channels. So you just try to click on that YouTube, and that'll take you to the YouTube channel. Okay. And we also have the support page in which we publish all the webinar videos there as well. But YouTube, I think, is our preferred approach. All right. Once again, thank you so much for joining the webinar today. Looking forward to meeting you again next week. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.